I'm Jessica Torres, former correctional officer at Riverside Prison. These stories are raw, real, and unforgettable. If you want to see what really happens behind bars, the moments that challenge everything you think you know, subscribe now. Cell 12 housed the strangest inmate I'd ever supervised, Liana Cross, 34 years old, serving 8 years for drug trafficking. She'd been at Riverside for 14 months when I started working C Block. Most inmates formed connections. Friendships, rivalries, alliances. Prison is a social ecosystem. You adapt or you suffer, but Liana was different. She kept completely to herself. No visitors, no phone calls, no mail, no commissary purchases. She read constantly, law books mostly, worked out obsessively, spoke only when necessary, always polite, always controlled. Other inmates left her alone. Not out of fear. She wasn't threatening. Out of indifference. She was a ghost who happened to occupy cell 12. I noticed her because noticing things is my job. And something about Liana didn't fit. Her eyes were too aware, too calculating, like she was constantly assessing, measuring, analyzing, not the desperate survival awareness of most inmates. Something else, professional awareness. I'd wondered about her for 3 weeks. Then everything changed. It was a Tuesday evening around 7 p.m. I was doing rounds when Liana called out quietly from her cell. "Officer Torres, I need to speak with you. Privately. It's urgent." Inmates requesting private conversations wasn't unusual. Medical issues, family emergencies, grievances, standard procedures existed for this. "What's this about Cross?" "Not here. Too many ears. Please. 5 minutes in the interview room. It's literally life or death." Something in her tone made me agree. I arranged an escort and brought her to interview room 3, small, windowless, camera monitored. We sat across from each other. Liana looked directly at me, and her entire demeanor changed. The passive inmate disappeared. In her place was someone else entirely. "Officer Torres, what I'm about to tell you will sound insane, but I need you to listen carefully and not react until I'm finished. Can you do that?" "Go ahead." "My name isn't Liana Cross. It's Special Agent Liana Crossfield, FBI. I've been undercover in Riverside for 14 months, conducting an investigation into a criminal organization operating inside this facility." I stared at her. She was right. It sounded insane. "The organization involves correctional officers, administrative staff, and inmates. They're running drugs, weapons, and contraband through the prison. But that's not the worst part. They're also facilitating communications between inmates and criminal networks on the outside, coordinating crimes, arranging murders, money laundering through the commissary system. That's impossible? I have evidence, recordings, documents, surveillance photos, everything needed for prosecution. I was supposed to extract next month after completing the operation. Was supposed to. Her jaw tightened. "My cover is blown. I don't know how, but someone inside the organization knows who I am. They're planning to kill me. Tomorrow, during yard time. Make it look like a prison fight. If you're really FBI, why not contact your handlers? Get extracted now." I've tried. Communications are compromised. Someone's intercepting my signals. The only person I can reach is my partner, Agent Marcus Reed. I called him yesterday from a contraband phone. He confirmed there's a leak somewhere in the operation. He told me to trust no one except she pulled something from inside her jumpsuit. A small laminated card. An FBI identification badge. Her photo. Her real name. Special Agent Liana Crossfield. My mouth went dry. He told me to trust only one person. "Officer, Jessica Torres. You filed 3 misconduct reports in your first year, rejected a bribe from an inmate, reported a smuggling operation that implicated 2 senior guards. You're either spectacularly naive or genuinely clean. Marcus bet on clean. How did you? We've been watching everyone in this facility for months, building profiles. You're one of 4 staff members we're confident aren't part of the network. She leaned forward. But I need your help, not as a correctional officer, as someone who might want to see justice actually happen in this place. What kind of help? First, keep me alive until tomorrow night. Second, help me get my evidence out. It's hidden in the prison. If I die, it dies with me. And this organization continues operating. I should have reported this immediately, gone to the warden, called the FBI myself, followed protocol, but something stopped me. Maybe her eyes, completely sincere, absolutely desperate. Maybe the FBI badge that looked legitimate. Maybe the fact that I'd always sensed something wrong at Riverside, something corrupt beneath the surface. If you're telling the truth, I said slowly, and I help you, I'm putting myself in danger. Yes. If you're lying and this is some elaborate con, I lose my job and possibly face criminal charges. Yes. Why should I trust you? She wrote a phone number on a piece of paper. Call this number. Right now. Use your personal cell. Ask for Agent Marcus Reed. Tell him Agent Crossfield needs confirmation of Sunrise Protocol. I stepped out of the interview room and called. A man answered on the second ring. Marcus Reed. This is Officer Jessica Torres from Riverside Prison. I'm with someone who claims to be Agent Liana Crossfield. She says you can confirm Sunrise Protocol. Jesus Christ, her cover's blown. His voice was tight with stress. Officer Torres, everything she told you is true. We have an undercover operation at Riverside. Agent Crossfield is in extreme danger. We're working on extraction, but it'll take 36 hours minimum. Can you keep her alive until then? My heart was pounding. I'll try. Do more than try. She's one of our best agents, and she's sitting on evidence that'll bring down a major criminal network. If she dies, years of work die with her. I'm trusting you. He hung up. I went back into the interview room. Liana watched me with cautious hope. Okay, I said, I'm in. What's the plan? Relief flooded her face. Thank you. First, I need you to request an emergency medical transfer for me. Claim I showed symptoms of appendicitis. Get me to medical overnight. It's more secure than a cell. They'll require a doctor's examination. I can fake symptoms convincingly. Trust me. What about the evidence? It's in the library, hidden inside a hollowed-out law book, Volume 7 of Federal Criminal Code, second shelf, west wall. You'll find a USB drive with everything, recordings, financial documents, photographs. Once I have it, what do I do? Keep it safe until extraction tomorrow night. At 10 p.m., a team will enter through the loading dock during shift change. You'll meet them there with the evidence, and we'll both leave. They're extracting you disguised as what? Prisoner transfer, medical emergency transport, ambulance, armed escort, the works. FBI will coordinate with local PD, but the prison administration won't know until after. Too much risk of leaks. It sounded risky, every part of it. But what choice did we have? I arranged the medical transfer. Leah's performance was Oscar-worthy, clutching her side, controlled, grimacing, just enough symptoms to seem serious without being dramatic. The medical staff admitted her for observation. At midnight, I went to the library, used my access keys, found the book. The USB drive was exactly where she said that I was turning to leave when I heard footsteps. Officer Morrison appeared in the doorway. He'd been at Riverside for 8 years. Senior guard. Well respected. Torres, what are you doing here this late? My mind raced. Inventory check. We had reports of missing books. At midnight. Couldn't sleep. Figured I'd be productive. I kept my voice casual. The USB drive hidden in my palm. Morrison's eyes narrowed. You've been spending time with the inmate in cell 12. Leah Cross. Why? She requested an interview. Standard procedure. What did she want? Medical complaint. That's why she's in medical now. Morrison studied me for a long moment. Then he smiled. It didn't reach his eyes. Torres, you remind me of another guard we had a couple years back. Real eager. Wanted to fix everything. Do things by the book. You know what happened to him? No. He had an accident. Fell down some stairs in cell block D. Broke his neck. Terrible tragedy. Morrison stepped closer. This place has rules, Torres. Not the written ones. The real ones. Smart people learn them fast. What are the real rules, Morrison? Don't ask questions. Don't look too close. Don't make problems. His hand moved to his radio. Are you going to be a problem? This was it. Morrison was part of the network, and he suspected something that I had seconds to decide. Fight or flee. Confront or deflect. No problem, I said carefully. Just doing my job. Good. Then you won't mind showing me what's in your hand. My blood went cold before I could respond. Alarms blared. Emergency lockdown. All units respond to medical wing. Morrison's radio crackled. Code red, medical wing. Prisoner down. All available officers respond. He looked torn between dealing with me and responding to the emergency. Protocol 1. Stay here, he ordered, running toward medical. I didn't stay. I ran the opposite direction. USB drive clutched tight, heart hammering. Something was happening in medical. Something bad. I reached the wing to find chaos. Doctors rushing around. Blood on the floor. And Liana on a gurney, unconscious, with a knife wound in her side. What happened? I demanded. A nurse turned, pale and shaking. Another inmate was brought in an hour ago. Complained of chest pains. But she wasn't sick. She was carrying a weapon. Stabbed the patient from cell 12 before we could stop her. Where is she? Restrained. Room 3. I looked through the window. The attacker was a woman I'd seen around cell block B, name forgotten, face unremarkable, except now she was smiling that she'd been sent to kill Liana, and she'd almost succeeded. Liana was rushed to surgery. Doctors said the knife missed major organs, but she'd lost blood. Prognosis uncertain. I had the evidence. But the agent who was supposed to extract with it was fighting for her life. Morrison found me in the hallway. Hell of a night. Yeah. Shame about Cross. Looked like a targeted hit. Wonder why anyone would want her dead. He watched my reaction carefully. I kept my face neutral. No idea. Well, if you hear anything... He smiled that dead smile again. Let me know. We take care of our own at Riverside. He walked away, and I realized he was testing me, seeing if I knew anything, seeing if I'd break. I waited until my shift ended at 6 a.m., went home, stared at the USB drive point 10 hours until extraction. Could Liana survive that long? Should I contact Agent Reed and tell him the plan failed? My phone buzzed. Unknown number. Officer Torres. This is Marcus Reed. We know what happened. Liana's in critical condition, but stable. Extraction is still on for tonight. Can you make it? Yes, but Morrison knows something. Morrison, papers rustled. Officer James Morrison? He's not on our suspect list. He confronted me in the library, threatened me. He's definitely involved. Then we need to move fast. 10 p.m., loading dock. Bring the drive. We'll extract both of you. Both. You're compromised now. If Morrison suspects you helped Liana, you're in danger. We're bringing you out too. I hadn't thought that far ahead, but he was right. I'd crossed a line. There was no going back. The day crawled by. I returned for evening shift, acting normal, avoiding Morrison. Every shadow felt like a threat. Every colleague a potential enemy. At 9:45 p.m., I made my way to the loading dock. Empty, dark. I waited at exactly 10 p.m. Headlights. An ambulance backed up to the dock. For people in paramedic uniforms got out. But they moved wrong. Too tactical. Too aware. Officer Torres. One of them showed an FBI badge. Agent Reeves. Where's the drive? I handed it over. Liana, being transported from medical now. We've got a team securing her. Morrison's voice cut through the darkness. Nobody's going anywhere. He stepped into the light, gun drawn. Behind him, 3 more guards, all armed. Torres, I knew you were a problem. And Cross, we knew she was federal 2 months ago. Been feeding her fake intel ever since. This whole thing is a setup. Agent Reeves's hand moved toward his weapon. Morrison fired. Reeves dropped. The loading dock exploded into chaos. FBI agents returning fire. Prison guards shooting back. I dove behind a crate, unarmed, useless. Then I saw Morrison aiming at the ambulance. Where Liana was, I didn't think, just moved. Threw myself at him as he fired. The bullet went wide. We crashed to the ground, struggling for the gun. You stupid girl, Morrison snarled. You could have walked away. I'm done walking away. I need him hard. Got the gun. Turned it on him. Don't move. Sirens wailed in the distance. Real cops, not compromised ones. The FBI must have called them. When it was over, Morrison and 4 other guards were in custody. The evidence from the USB drive led to 17 arrests over the following weeks. Correctional officers, administrators, even one deputy warden, Liana, survived her surgery, spent 2 weeks recovering. When she was released, she came to see me. You saved my life, she said, twice. You risked everything to expose corruption. I just helped. You did more than help. You chose justice over safety. That's rare. What happens now? The investigation continues. Trials. Reform. This prison will be gutted and rebuilt. She paused. And you? FBI could use someone like you. I laughed. I'm a prison guard, not an agent. You were a prison guard. Now you're someone who took on a criminal organization and won. Think about it. She left her card. I still have it. I quit Riverside 2 months later. Couldn't stay after everything I'd learned. The corruption had run so deep for so long. But Liana was right about one thing. Once you see how broken the system is, you can't unsee it. You either walk away or you fight to fix it. I'm still deciding which path to take. But I know this. Cell 12 taught me that nothing is what it seems. That the most dangerous criminals sometimes wear uniforms. That courage isn't the absence of fear. It's doing what's right even when you're terrified. Liana Crossfield was FBI, the inmate who knew too much. And I was the correctional officer who chose to believe her. Sometimes that's all it takes to change everything.